welcome aboard. Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, welcoming you to another live edition of the Dr. Glidden Show, a.k.a. Fire Your MD Now. Did you have a good weekend? Well, I hope that you did. I wish that you did. I pray that you did. However, 4,274 people did not. Approximately 4,274 people over the course of this weekend died as a direct result of MD-directed therapeutics. That's MD-directed therapeutics, the leading cause of death in the United States. 780,000 people a year killed dead by MD-directed therapeutics delivered by a medical organization which is self-policing and which virtually answers to nobody but themselves. Collateral damage, that's just the way that it goes. That's just the practice of medicine, is the mantra that we get from the people who bankrupt us, the people who disappoint us, the people who infect us, the people who harm us, and then ultimately the people who kill us. And, you know, what the heck? Where is it going to end? Where is the bottom line? What's the deal going to be here? Well, I don't know what's going to happen. But I tell you what we need, we desperately need. We need a free medical market. We don't have a free medical market. You are screwed in Canada. If you're listening in Canada, you don't have a choice. Socialized medicine, the government takes money out of your paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whenever it is, and gives it to the medical system. You know, until this year in the United States, we could have medical insurance or not. Didn't matter. It was, by choice. Now we have to have medical insurance. The only difference between the U.S. and Canada is we get to choose which insurance companies and which policies we want to cover us. But the medical insurance here in the U.S., the medical insurance in Canada, the medical insurance in the European Union doesn't cover homeopathy, doesn't cover chiropractic, doesn't cover naturopathy, or if it does, in a very limited way. Doesn't cover acupuncture, doesn't cover Ayurveda, doesn't cover herbal medicine, doesn't cover anything but MD-directed medical therapeutics all of the time. The leading cause of death in the United States. MD-directed medical therapeutics. And, 4,274 people presumptively dead over the course of this weekend. And nobody bats a flipping eyelash because we have become inured to the process. We have become hypnotized to believe that the MD way is the only way, and even when their therapeutics fail us, even when their therapeutics bankrupt us, and even when their therapeutics kill us, we don't do anything. Right? A kid goes crazy in a high school here in the U.S. and kills 2 or 3 or 200 of their classmates, and, it's all over the news all of the time. But 4,274 people die, and nobody bats an eyelash. Can you imagine what would happen? To put this in a better perspective, a better frame for people to figure this out and kind of get approaches on where we're coming from here, where I'm coming from here. If taxi cab drivers in New York City, if taxi cab drivers in L.A., if taxi cab drivers in Chicago, or Phoenix, or Atlanta, or Miami killed 4,000 people over the course of the weekend, if there were 4,000 deaths directly attributed to, drunken taxi cab drivers anywhere in the United States, would there be a congressional hearing? You bet. Would there be a police investigation? You bet. Would heads roll? You bet they would. How about postal workers? If postal workers went postal and, went into their town, went into their zip code, and just started machine gunning people down indiscriminately, 4,000 people over the course of the weekend, do you think something would be done? Would that be national news? Would somebody take offense to that? Would heads roll? You bet they would. How about 5th grade teachers? If all of a sudden 5th grade teachers went bananas and started poisoning everybody in their class, over the course of 2 days, a Friday and a Saturday, in one town, or, in let's say all across the United States, the 5th grade teachers got together and they deliberately poisoned 4,274 of their students, would there be an investigation? Would there be police action? And would heads roll? You bet they would. But not when the MDs do it. Why? Because the MDs own the show. It's good to be king. They're a self-policing organization, and they have convinced you over the course of 100 years that it is their way or the highway, that they are the exclusive owners to the domain of medicine, and everybody else practices not real medicine but alternative medicine. Everybody else is a back-of-the-bus quack with some type of substandard, unscientific medical theology. It's nonsense. The only people practicing selling snake oil in this country have MD after their name. That's right. I said it out loud. Snake oil brought to you by MDs. Vioxx, supposed to do one thing, does something else and kills you, and is extremely expensive. That's the very definition of snake oil. Vioxx. There's probably 100 prescription medicines that fit that category. They're marketed to do one thing, they do something else entirely, and into the bargain they harm or they kill you. That's snake oil by definition. But, I don't know where or when it started. Well, I think that it started after World War, right around between World War I and World War II, when the pharmaceutical industry started controlling everything. Medicine became the exclusive domain of the MDs, and how we ever gave them that control is beyond me. Why we did that is beyond me. Dr. Benjamin Rush, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, said this. He wanted to put medical freedom into the Bill of Rights, into the Constitution. Dr. Benjamin Rush, over 200 years ago, said, unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize itself into a dictatorship to restrict the art of healing to one class of men and deny equal privileges to others, will constitute the Bastille of medical science. All such laws and notions are un-American and despotic, and that's exactly where we are today. Most people don't even know how to pronounce naturopathy, let alone know what it is. And so when people are sick, they're scared. Rightly so. So what do? They run to the MD. Why? Because they're the only show in town. They're the only medicine that's practiced in your hospital is MD medicine. There's none of that fancy schmancy naturopathy stuff practiced there. Oh, no. We can't have the good stuff. My profession is only legally allowed, members of my profession are only legally allowed to ply their trade in 18 states in the United States. I went to the University of Massachusetts, graduated from the fully accredited University of Massachusetts in their pre-med program, fully accredited Bachelor of Science in pre-med. And then I went to matriculated at Bastyr University of Naturopathic Medicine, fully accredited medical school in the United States, sanctioned by the United States Department of Education. And students in the naturopathic medical schools are eligible for student loans through the federal government, subsidized by the federal government, fully accredited. I passed with flying colors in 4 years, passed national boards, passed state boards, and I've had a license to practice naturopathic medicine since 1992. In Seattle, in Los Angeles, in Portland, Oregon, in Juneau, Alaska, I can deliver babies, prescribe drugs, perform minor surgery, order any diagnostic test I want, work in hospitals, call myself a physician, but in Illinois, not so much. In Kansas, not so much. In North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, not so much. Massachusetts, my home state. Rhode Island, not so much. New York State, not so much. Across the board, there are only 18 states in the United States, including, believe it or not, Puerto Rico. Now, Puerto Rico is one of the 18. Where members of my profession are legally allowed to practice medicine. I guess that the laws of medicine, the laws of science, the laws of education all stop when you cross the border into New York or Massachusetts, right? I guess they just stop. You would not put up with this type of baloney from any other industry if the United States government passed a law which said the only person that can sell hamburgers in your state was McDonald's. There would be an outrage. If they passed a law, the only people that can sell gasoline in your state is Exxon, there'd be outrage. If they said the only people that can sell vegetables in your state, is Kroger's, or whatever the biggest national supermarket chain was, there would be outrage. Oh, no. The only person that can sell shoes in your state is Keds. Nobody else gets to sell shoes. Just Keds. That's it. You wouldn't put up with that. Nor should you. That's exactly what you've put up with when it comes to medicine. But it is such an overarching phenomenon, and it has been in place for so long. It is right in front of your eyes, and you do not see it. It's like the purloined letter, right? The best place to hide it is in plain sight. Well, that's exactly the situation that we are in, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to hell in a handbasket. While we've given the MDs exclusive control over the domain and the delivery of medicine, Alzheimer's has accelerated, autism has accelerated, attention deficit disorder has accelerated, depression has accelerated, suicidal ideation amongst our veterans has accelerated. All chronic diseases have accelerated. Obesity now is 1/3 of the nation is obese, and that includes our children. And there's one reason for this. There is a reason that all this is happening. It's because we go to the MDs to treat these things, and the MDs are incapable of treating these things. They're incapable of it. They don't know how to do it. They're not trained in how to cure disease. They're not. They're trained in how to manage disease and with drugs and surgery, and that's what they do. They manage and they manage and they manage and they manage. They paint over the mold, 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 and then everybody worries why the wall of the house falls down. Well, I thought you fixed that problem. No, you didn't. You just painted over it. I thought you fixed the arthritis. No, you didn't. You just medicated it. I thought you fixed the blood pressure. No, you didn't. You just medicated it. I thought you fixed the heartburn. No, you didn't. You just medicated it. I thought you fixed the obesity. No, you didn't. You just removed the stomach. And so forth and so on. Down the rabbit hole we go, spiraling into our doom, damnation, and degradation. All because we've taken the wrong dog to the hunt. Ladies and gentlemen, fire your medical doctor. They may be the nicest person God ever created, but they don't know what's best for you. They only know what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is the leading cause of death. Snap out of it. Give me a call instead. Stick around. The best is yet to come. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on the 27th day of October 2014. Oh my, how the time does fly. I am not exactly sure where it goes, but it goes somewhere. I'm pretty sure there's a big room someplace with all of the time that's ever passed, and I'd like to have the key to that room. What about you? We have a question from somebody in the chat room here. I just want to go over this with you because it's pertinent and it kind of outlines what I've been talking about. By the way, to get into the live chat, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening and you'd like to join in a worldwide live chat, it's free. Just go to the Dr. Glidden Show.tv, the Dr. Glidden Show.tv. Join the worldwide live chat. Mike from Florida says, hey, Doc, a fellow pool player in his mid-60s has bad shaking in his right hand. His doctor said it's essential tremors with no cure in sight. What causes this, and will he have to live with it? Well, this is interesting, right? Because, of course, the MDs would say that there's no cure for it because, as I was talking about in the first segment, the MDs don't know how to cure anything. I mean, people hear essential tremors and everybody gets all nervous. Oh, it's a neurological thing. Oh, that's complicated. Well, I'm not surprised the MD doesn't know how to cure it. Oh, yeah. But, you know, if it was heartburn, would the MD know what causes it? No. Does the MD know how to cure it? No. If it's arthritis, does the MD know what causes it? No. Does the MD know what cures it? No. If it's obesity, does the MD know what causes it? No. Does the MD know how to cure it? No. If it's insomnia or depression or anxiety and panic attacks or type 2 diabetes, does the MD know what causes it or know how to cure it? No. And these are the people that the government is making it mandatory for us to gain access to. That the MD emperor has no clothes, ladies and gentlemen. He has no clothes. They're the wrong person for the job. This is the problem with healthcare. We need to relegate the MDs to trauma care and surgery when it's absolutely necessary, and we need to put the naturopaths in the driver's seat of general family practice in all of the country. We need to subsidize the education of naturopathic physicians. We need to make naturopathic medicine legally practiced in all 50 states. We need to give the naturopathic organization half of the research money that we give to everybody else. We need to have a free, level playing field of medicine here in the United States. And if we do not, we will get more of the same. And this has nothing to do with insurance manipulation of the game. This has nothing to do with governmental subsidization of the medical marketplace. It has nothing to do with it. Because the MD medical therapeutic does not work. It does not work. It's a fool's errand. For goodness sake, we wouldn't go to a chiropractor or a massage therapist for open heart surgery, would we? You wouldn't go to a chiropractor for a root canal, would you? No. Well, nor should you go to an MD if you are suffering with a chronic health condition. And if you do go to an MD and you're suffering with a chronic health condition, you're setting yourself up for failure. You are. It's only a matter of time. So, when somebody is bothered with a neurological condition, do we treat the neurological condition? Do we treat the diagnosis? No, because there's no such thing as an essential tremor. There's no such thing as asthma. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. You can't bring me a box of essential tremors. You can't bring me a box of asthma. You can't bring me a box of congestive heart failure. You can bring me a box of apples or pencils or pens or elastic bands. Those are real things. Pathological conditions are names. They are intangible names given to sets of symptoms showing up in living and breathing human beings. And everybody's situation is different. So we don't treat disease. We help people. There's a gigantic difference because diseases are not real. People are. So what do? If somebody has essential tremors, we support and promote the structure and function of the nervous system. That's not rocket science, right? Why doesn't your MD do it? Because your MD has his head so far up his backside, he can't even see daylight. So, 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid. 2 bottles of selenium. 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Add to that 1 bottle of immortalium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 1 bottle of EFA's 180. 1 extra bottle of EFA 180. Eliminate the 10 bad foods, eat a diet high in cholesterol. Have him do that for 6 months and see what happens to the essential tremors. All we have to do is stop eating food that's coming up to work, give the body the stuff it needs to fix itself, keep our fingers crossed and see how far back the body bounces. But before we do any of that, we must stop listening to the dunce. Stop listening to the MD with the dunce cap on, because if you listen to them, you're going to die, sucker. But before you die, you're going to suffer, and then you're going to die. Fire your medical doctor now. Boom, that's how we do it. We love Carlos Santana here on the Dr. Glidden Show. If you're listening to this on a terrestrial radio station and you like what you hear and you want to learn more, listen at the commercial breaks, during the commercial breaks, for the phone number that your radio station is giving out in order for you to get more information about what we're doing. Give that number a call, and we will bring you into the fold. There are people standing by right now to take your phone calls. If you found me all by yourself through the interspheres, the interwebs, the internet, the internet, that's right, the internet, those interwebs, give this number a call, and someone from Team Glidden will hold your hand and show you the way. 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. And if you were forwarded here, brought here, introduced to this radio station through a living, breathing human being, then get with them in order to get more information about how to interface with us, because we represent a worldwide coalition of grassroots business builders, associates of Longevity, members of Longevity Worldwide, who have taken it upon themselves the duty of uplifting mankind, because the MDs have screwed everybody up so bad it is not even funny. Ladies and gentlemen, if you had seen 1/10 of the things that I've seen people recover from, 1/10 of the things that I've seen people recover from, 1/10 of the death and destruction and pain and suffering doled out by the MDs, if you were aware of 1/10 of it the way that I am, there would be a revolution here. It would be a revolution. I don't know if it would be non-militant and peaceful, or if it would be, I don't know. I don't know what it would be, but it wouldn't be pretty. Ultimately, it would be good, because the MDs have screwed us up, and they've screwed us up big time. They continue to screw us up big time, and it doesn't look like it's going to change in the near future. So you've got a choice. You can maintain what you're doing and expect the same result, or you can bring yourself into the light of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. You could align yourself with us today, and we will show you how to support and promote your body's built-in God-given ability to fix itself across the board. Let's go to Arizona and talk to Marilyn. Hey, Marilyn, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I spoke to you a few weeks back about my Coumadin level going down weekly.
Oh, yeah.
I keep having to increase mine. And I started on longevity on September 10th. And it's just every week I have to increase my blood thinner. And
every week you have to increase your Coumadin?
Right.
Well, then there's only one possibility. You're not absorbing efficiently what you're taking. Do you still have your gallbladder?
No. I mean, yes, I do. I do have my gallbladder.
All right, so you have your gallbladder. Has anything else been removed by the MDs?
Just about everything.
Yeah.
Everything else. But my question is the BTT. I have to limit my vitamin K and green vegetables when I'm on Coumadin. And I'm guessing that's maybe what's making it too thick.
No. You don't have thick blood because you have a Coumadin deficiency. You have thick blood because you have an essential fatty acid deficiency. So, and Dr. Wallach sued the Food and Drug Administration, sued them, cost $1 million, more or less. Brought mountains of evidence and put it on the desk of the FDA, and all of the evidence clearly shows that in order for your blood to be a healthy viscosity, you need essential fatty acids. I mean, that's what you need. You need essential fatty acid supplementation into your body. So if your blood is too thick, then you're deficient in essential fatty acids. And if you're taking essential fatty acids sufficient to the cause, sufficient to your body weight, and your blood continues to become thick, you're just not absorbing them.
Well, so in my EFAs, you have me on 3 times a day. So
yeah, that's 12 a day. Yeah, and how much do you weigh?
Right, about 140.
Okay, and you're not eating wheat, barley, rye, or oats, right?
Oh my God, no. The only thing I can think of, I'm also sensitive to the 4 things in the BTT, and cranberry, banana, mushrooms, and pineapple. And that's in there, so I'm not sure. I would say the BTT is what is causing this, but that's why I want to check with you.
Well, yeah, it's a good thing you checked with me, because the BTT is not causing this. It is impossible for the Beyond Tangy Tangerine to make somebody's blood thick, or to interfere with Coumadin metabolism in such a way that it would disallow that from happening.
Really? So, it's got vitamin K in it, though, doesn't it, Doc?
Well, yeah, but look, so here's the deal. You would expect, though, the vitamin K to make the Coumadin work better, not to make the Coumadin work worse. We would expect this to, what we see all of the time, you're the exception that proves the rule, I guess, is that when people are on this program, their blood gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner, and the problem is that they need to get off of the Coumadin relatively quickly rather than continue to stay on it. So there's a couple things that I would recommend you do by way of experimentation here, okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I would get the ultimate enzymes.
Okay.
And I would take 2 of the ultimate enzymes at the beginning of a meal, and in that meal, I want you to take 5 EFAs.
During the meal?
Yeah. So I want you to take, so before breakfast, you pop 2 of the ultimate enzymes,
mm-hmm.
and then you have breakfast, and during breakfast, you have 5 of the EFAs.
Okay.
And then the same thing at lunch. You take the ultimate enzymes at the beginning of lunch, and during lunch, you have 5 EFAs. And then the same with dinner. The ultimate enzymes will help your body digest and metabolize the EFAs, and this really is the only problem, unless you are unwittingly sneaking gluten into the body every day and you don't know how to do it.
I can swear against that, Doc. I'm not doing that.
No way that's happening. Yeah. So
No.
this has to be a digestion issue and an absorption issue. And really the only way out of this off of this hamster wheel, right, is to give the body more time and also promote digestion of fats. And to promote digestion of fats, you need the bile that's in with the ultimate digestive enzyme. So I'm going to recommend that. That's one thing.
I'm taking ultimate enzymes, one before each meal.
Yeah, so I want you to do 2 before a meal. And I want you in that meal, during that meal, to swallow the EFAs.
Okay, fine.
Okay. There's one more thing I want you to do, please. I want you to get 1 bottle of Nightly Essence.
Nightly, what was that?
Nightly Essence.
Essence?
Yep, Essence. Yep, it's a probiotic that Youngevity sells, and it has nattokinase in it. And nattokinase also will help the blood to become thin. And I want you to take 2 Nightly Essence before you go to bed.
2 before bedtime. That was another thing. The last few weeks, last week, about 2 or 3 a.m., I start chilling from the inside and shaking. And so I don't know if this is, I keep saying, I quit the BT a couple of days and I didn't have that. Now, is that just a coincidence?
Well, no, it's never a coincidence. The first thing to consider when anybody is on any type of a medical program, right, whether it's a conventional medical program doled out by the pygmy-sized brain MDs, or whether it's a holistic program or whatever it is that you're doing, it doesn't matter. When you're on board with any type of a medical intervention and you get side effects, you haven't had those before.
No.
You get new symptoms that you've never had before. The first thing to consider is that something that you're taking is causing the side effect, and so then you have to beat around the bush and figure it out. So if you had that and you stopped the BTT and that went away, then it was the BTT that caused it.
Mm-hmm.
So your only workaround then, as a facsimile for the BTT, would be a Youngevity product called Ultimate Classic.
Ultimate Classic.
Now, I have to warn you, Marilyn, I'm telling you this because I like you.
Nice. Thank you.
There's been a lot of talk around town in the chat room and on the radio and as such about the Ultimate Classic and how it tastes. I've always told people it's one of the most horrible tasting supplements that Youngevity has, and a lot of people in the chat room say, oh, it's not that bad. Well, guess what? It is. It's a bad tasting nutritional supplement no matter how you slice it. So you have to find something that makes it taste good, or you're only going to be able to handle taking that for maybe 2 weeks, and then you just won't be able to do it.
Okay. So
we had a guy on the webinar the other day on the live chat, which is available to members of my subscription service for it's part of the subscription. He gave us the inside scoop that V8 Fusion. V8 makes a number of different iterations of, the V8 juice.
Right.
There's one V8 drink called V8 Fusion that has, I think, blueberry and pomegranate in it. And apparently, if you mix the V8 Fusion blueberry and pomegranate with the Ultimate Classic, it tastes pretty good.
Oh, really? Well, good.
Yeah, so get the Ultimate Classic instead of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. And what's your body weight?
It's 140, but I really like the BTT, and that's
well,
why
look,
I'm calling.
I really like tequila, but too much of it is not my friend. Right?
Okay. Yeah, well, you're right.
So now to kind of make you feel better, Marilyn, the reason that the Beyond Tangy Tangerine aggravates some people is because of a mild allergic reaction that they have to the fruits and vegetables that are in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a reaction to the minerals or the vitamins that are in there. It's a reaction to the proteins that are embedded in the 115 fruits and vegetables or however many that are in there. Now, from our point of view, a food allergy of any ilk, whether it's an immediate hypersensitivity like, that the little boy eats the peanuts and his throat swells up, whether it's that, or a delayed hypersensitivity reaction like you're experiencing, Both of those are generated from a funky digestive tract. So, ostensibly, over time, as you're, 2-3 years on this program, and you've eliminated the 10 bad foods, and you're taking the supplements every day, and you're improving, it's entirely possible that a year or two from now, you'll be able to go back to the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and without any side effects.
Okay.
Because your digestive tract will have healed itself. But in the meantime, we have to always, the goal here is to dial in a therapeutic intervention which is 100% symptom-free, right? So start, please, with 1 bottle of the Ultimate Classic a month, and I would do a half an ounce twice a day. A half an ounce twice a day of the Ultimate Classic.
Okay. All right.
Now, if you're good with that, then graduate to 2 bottles a month and take 1 ounce twice a day.
All right.
But in the meantime, do the digestive enzyme essential fatty acid thing with a nightly essence. See if that makes a difference for you, and give me a call back in a couple of weeks. I will look forward to it. Montana's up next, folks. On the other side of the break, it's Josh. We're going to go to Montana, one of my favorite states. Stick around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, helping you to figure out how to support and promote your body's built-in God-given ability to fix itself, your body's built-in God-given ability to fix itself, which is something that is completely outside of the purview of the MD, because your MD is trained, believe it or not, to believe that the human body is a biochemical bag of mistakes waiting to happen, and that once your body does eventually fail, which it must because that's just life, it's not the MD's job to fix anything. It is the MD's job to manage your symptoms with drugs and surgery, which is exactly what they do, which is exactly why we go from the frying pan into the fire when we are under the care of the MD. Montana's up next. Let's talk to Josh. Hey, Josh. Thanks for the call. You are live.
Good afternoon, Glidden.
What's up, Josh?
I was on your show 2 months ago, and I got a 5-month-old that is diagnosed with cystic fibrosis.
Oh, okay. So 5-month-old child that's diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. Okay.
He weighs 14 pounds.
Yep.
And I've been giving him half an ounce of plant-derived minerals slowly during the day.
Good man.
And a half capsule of EFA Plus a day.
Very good.
And I'm wondering if I should continue to do that.
Oh, yeah, you need to continue it. You need to give him selenium as well. Selenium.
Selenium?
Yeah, selenium is extremely important here. It would actually, selenium would supersede anything else. Selenium should be the first thing that you do. How much does the child weigh right now?
14 pounds.
Yeah, 14 pounds. So give him a half a capsule of the selenium twice a day. And the selenium, you can break the capsule open and put the powder in a little applesauce or yogurt or whatever, right? Give him a half a cap of selenium twice a day. A half a cap of selenium twice a day. I think that once you add the selenium into the program, you're going to see a turnaround. 14 pounds, man. How old is the child?
5 months.
Yeah. So that's what I would do. And I would do that for 4 weeks. 4 weeks, a half a cap of selenium twice a day. Is the child eating anything, or is he breastfeeding, or what's the deal?
He's bottle feeding, but it's breast milk.
Yeah, okay. And is the mother eliminating the 10 bad foods?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty important, because the proteins that are the negative culprits here will pass right through the breast milk into the baby's system if the mother is eating this stuff. And it would be prudent and good and smart for the mother to be taking one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, 1 bottle of plant minerals, and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of her own body weight per month. That's 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, 1 bottle of plant minerals, and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds per month while she's breastfeeding. And then in addition to that, give the child the plant minerals and the selenium and the EFAs. That's what I would do if it were my child.
Could you repeat that again, what the why should take?
Yeah, so one plant, Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid.
Mm-hmm.
One of those. 2 bottles of selenium, and 1 bottle of plant minerals, 1 plant minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month while she's breastfeeding. Well, for the rest of her life. She needs it, I need it, you need it, everybody needs it. But it'll pass right through her breast milk and get into the baby system that way, and that's a really good thing. And she has to avoid the 10 bad foods, man, and if she does, the baby's going to stand a much better chance of optimizing his structure and function. Selenium given to the child is mandatory here. A half a capsule twice a day is a very, very good place to start. Give me a call back in a month, Josh. I appreciate your trust. Ladies and gentlemen, hour 2 is coming up. We're going to go to Jim in Texas, Edmund in Chicago, Alan in Alberta, Canada, and whoever else wants to give the show a call. Tune into the live video stream, thedrgliddenshow.tv. I'll see you at 6 after the hour.